Good evening, parents. You'll notice today when you look in your scholars folder that something a little bit different is inside. It's taped inside the folder, the front flap. So now the homework is going to look a little bit different. I know that I mentioned to some of you that I'm creating something new, trying something new with homework. I know that sometimes homework can seem tedious, and I don't want to overwhelm you with reading homework, especially if you're having a hard time, being able to really sit down and focus. I know sometimes your kids are completely done by the end of the day, which is 1000% understandable. Their day is so hard and it's long. They're learning all day, and it's a struggle to get them to even do their work sometimes throughout the day because their little bodies are tired, their minds are tired, their little souls are tired, and it's nearing the end of the year. So they're feeling it. They're really feeling it. For a lot of them, it's their first year in school. And I just really want you to know that I understand. I've seen this year in and year out. And so it's something that I'm very familiar with. So I'm going to try to simplify the homework a little bit more. I'm going to try to send less, but maximize what we're going to get out of it. Now that I know that we are practicing a whole lot. We're doing a lot as much as we can. And by that I mean you guys, you're doing as much as you can. I can tell the way the kids are learning. I know that students are getting the work done. I know by how many questions I get, how many texts I get, even if it's late at night. You're wondering, what needs to be done. You want to know if there's anything else that can be done. And I love that. I love being able to see those messages because I know you're invested in your child's future. I know that a lot of times people think and say, well, they're in kindergarten, how serious is it? And that's kind of how I felt when I first started teaching kindergarten, since I come from a background in teaching high school kids. And so I thought, what, they're 5. What is it that, they should be learning, or they're learning too much? Is this too hard for them? And really, the answer is no, it's not too hard for them. We're able to push them a little further. And right now is the perfect time. Their minds are fresh, they're moldable, they're able to learn so much, and they're just so bright. It's a really great time to get them started, and you'll see that they're way more advanced than most kids in regular public school. So please trust the process. Please trust us. Trust me. We're trying our best. I know that a lot of you are so excited to see them reading. It's amazing. It doesn't cease to amaze me how, it never ceases to amaze me how amazing and smart kids are, and this is them as a whole. Their personality, everything about them makes them wonderful. The fact that they're able to learn this much in this amount of time, it's just amazing. It's great. It's wonderful. I know that it feels great to me when I watch them read, when I see them understand concepts that I hadn't seen them understand before, or that they had a problem with earlier, and now they're really getting it. So I know that for a fact you guys are in awe when they come home and they're reading to you. It's amazing. It is so great, and it's only going to get better. They're going to read more, they're going to read faster, they're going to read fluently. It's going to be amazing. It can only get better from here, but we do need to have a partnership. So it does take a village, and it's not just their social emotional needs that we're feeding. We're also feeding and molding, of course, their academic success. So with that being said, I want to go into what I'll be sending home from now on. Now, I'll be sending home one of these. These are multiple that are here on this page, because this is where I'm printing them from. So, for example, for Pomona this week, I believe I sent this one right here. This one, this is going to be the mastery test that's coming up. They will have this test sometime next week, so that's why I'm sending it now, so that you can be able to have your child practice this daily. So this will be a daily homework. Any one of these that I send home that's a little square taped inside their folder, this will be what they'll be reading to you daily, so that way they can practice, because that will be their next test. So for example, Pomona took a test today, mastery test 17. They did these sounds, so woo, g, sh, and ah. Every single one aced it. These are usually the easier mastery tests that we have, but now the one that's going to come up is going to be their first story that they're going to read and it's a mastery test. It's not a checkout just yet. Now remember that kids are starting the red readers in lesson 91. So since the students took the test for lesson 90 today, they'll be starting lesson 91 tomorrow, which is when they start the red readers. I'm so excited for Pomona. That's going to be our last group to start the red readers, and it's so amazing. I'm excited. I'm pumped about it. They're really excited to do it. They don't like to read as much as the other two groups. They find the reading a little bit repetitive right now, but we do have to read often in order to maintain the fluency, specifically because they are the lowest group in the class, not the lowest group in general, but in my class there is what we consider not really a low, medium, and high, but they're at different levels. So Pomona is the one that's at the lowest level in my class, which is lesson 91 starting tomorrow. This is a test that they will have next week, probably on Friday. So there's plenty of time for them to be reading this to you. So what you would do, or what they do, is they put their finger on this ball. So get ready to read the story. Finger on the first ball. Sound it out. Get ready. What word? That's how we say it. Next word. Sound it out. Fish. What word? Fish. Next word. Sound it out. Get ready. Made. What word? Made. Next word. Sound it out. Get ready. What word? Next word. Sound it out. Wish. What word? Wish. Next word. Sound it out. Get ready. What word? I. Next word. Sound it out. Wish. What word? Wish. Next word. Sound it out. What word? I. Next word. Sound it out. Had. What word? Had. Next word. Sound it out. Feet. What word? Feet. Now, since they'll be reading this, they should be reading it with you once a day until I tell you to go ahead and remove it or not use it anymore, or once I tell you that they tested. They should be able to read it the fast way. So this would be the fast way. Where there's actually 3 steps. So the first step is sounding it out and then reading it, and the second step is to say each word. So this is how I say it when I'm reading to them. First word, what word? Next word, what word? Fish. Next word, what word? Made. Next word, what word? Next word, what word? Wish. Next word, what word? I. Next word, what word? Wish. Next word, what word? I. Next word, what word? Had. Next word, what word? Feet. That's going to be the second step. The third step is to read it the fast way, so I won't move my cursor because I'll be clapping. The student should still be tracking like this, but I won't be able to because I'll clap. This is how we'll do it when we start reading time. So it'll start like this. Get ready. Fish, made, wish. I wish I had feet. That's gonna be how they're gonna eventually start to read. So this is how we get them from sounding out sounds to reading it a little bit faster and then to reading it faster. So once they get more comfortable, we'll be reading at a faster pace. So I'll be clapping at a faster pace. So this is going to be for Pomona, and actually this will apply for any other student that depending on what lesson they're on. So for example, this is for Pomona, what's in there, so please start doing that tonight if it's not too late. And then for California, I believe I sent 100, if I'm not mistaken, because I believe that's what they're going to do tomorrow. So please try to sound this out for them. So they're going to give me these sounds. I, sh, k. So if they know these sounds, then they're going to get 100% on this test. Now you can circle the ones that they're having a hard time with. So if they have a hard time with this one, circle it and then ask them a little bit later. So to have them take a break, maybe call them back not a second later, but maybe like a half an hour later, or after they finish their dinner, after they shower, any little kind of break, and have them come back and ask them what sound. So try to do, I know it's a little late already at 6:30. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, I had an after-school meeting today, and this is as early as I could record this video since I sent it out today. So just, if it's possible, I believe all students in this group will know the sounds, but please make sure that this is done anyway to make sure. So I'll be sending it this next one next week, so they will be reading this just as I showed the video for Pomona. They're going to read the same thing. So they're going to sound it out and read it. For some of these sentence reads, as the lessons progress, they'll only be reading it fast. So I'm going to have them read it the fast way, and that's going to be on the test. So once they say read it the fast way, they'll have to read it like this. She can kick. She can lick. She said, I am not a cat. Some of the stories will have to read fast. So please make sure that you're doing this, because some of them, after so many times that they see words and they see them often with us, they read them often with us, and a lot of these words should now be not really they should be kind of like sight words, I suppose. They're going to see a lot of these often. So said is going to be a funny one. It sounds out funny. It's one of our irregular words, so it sounds out said. How do you say it? Said. All groups have learned this already, so it's really important to really focus on this irregular word. Again, this is for University of California, Davis. Now for A&M, I believe that they are on... I think this was what they will read. I believe they're going to be on lesson 110. Yes, I think this is what I sent home. They're going to be reading them the fast way. So they should be able to read have, goats, shave, cow, was. Was is an irregular word, so it sounded out this way. Was. How do you say it? Was. So they should be able to see this. A&M should be good on this one. Also, it's just good to be sure and practice. I'll let you guys know once the test is done, so that way you don't have to practice them anymore. You can also keep these cards at home to go back and practice. So I also figured that was another good option. So I kind of tape them to and they're small, I tape them to your child's folder, and then you can keep them to practice later. So I think that's really great. This is only for the mastery test. Now for Texas A&M, that has I believe that they're reading a story also. So for checkouts, so A&M is on lesson 118, if I'm not mistaken. So when they get to lesson 120, let me check where they currently are. Okay, yes, they're going to do lesson 120 tomorrow. I sent this home today. So this is the story that they're going to read for their checkout. It's going to be A Fish in the Rain. So if you notice, some of these don't have funny print. So for example, if you notice that the does not have funny print, it doesn't have the I, the like hat on the top or the line on the top. They already know this word, so it shouldn't cause any problem. So this is what they will read tomorrow for their checkout. Now this is what the passing criteria is. So they need to read this in 2 minutes with less than 3 errors. So when you time them, please make sure that you put the time and then how many errors. If they don't pass it, so if they don't do it they can get 0 errors but read it in 3 minutes, it's still not a pass because they're taking too long to read it. I practice with them so often about like picking up their pace. Once they have the fluency down, we're picking up the pace, making it faster. So if they don't have that, if they didn't pass it, please have them do it again. Have them take a break and then do it again, because I want them to practice the story before we take the test tomorrow. So I will be sending this weekly. Now this is what went home with A&M today, because they're going to be doing Mastery Test 23. So they'll be doing both the Mastery Test and the checkout. So these are the sounds that they should know: O, V, Ch, P, and Eh is a new sound. So this is the short E sound, so and the long E that we use in that's the one that they've known for a long time. This one is new, so it's they just learned it maybe about 2 days ago, so they're already going to be tested on it. Please, please, please use this. The one I'll be sending next week will be this one. So on Monday of next week, I'll be sending the one that they'll be reading for checkout 6. So you actually get to see this before I give them the test. You can circle the words that they have trouble with. That way you can continue to practice that or have them sound it out. They had a hard time with the word car because we sound it out different. So it's car. How do you say it? Car. That's one of the ones that they had a hard time with. And I believe that it was also said. Sometimes with said, because it sound out different. Said. How do you say it? Said. The rest of the words should be okay for the next one, but we'll talk about that next week. Again, this is the mastery test that they'll take for this one. That'll be for the following week. So I'm trying to send you the homework for what we will cover. I'm sending you the homework for what we will cover the next week. That way they have a week to practice. And of course, you have it over the weekend, even though there technically isn't any assigned homework on the weekend. That's the reason why I actually let you keep the folders over the weekend, because I know a lot of you really like to practice over the weekend, which is why your kids are doing so great. They're doing wonderfully. So I think that's it for today. I know my video is a little bit long. I'm so sorry. I hope you made it to the end of the video, because this really shows, I believe that this will answer most of the questions that you may have regarding this new homework that I'm going to be sending. I will be sending something a little bit different next week, not this week. It'll look just like this. So let me make it a little bit smaller. So this is what will be in addition to that small little square. Again, this will start next week. So this is how they should be reading this one. So here it'll say directions: read the text, highlight I, and copy the sentence 2 times. I am most concerned with them reading. So this builds fluency. So first they're going to read I. I wish I wish I wish I had. I wish I had a. I wish I had a fish. Read it the fast way. I wish I had a fish. If they still don't seem fluent, if they still feel like they're struggling, have them do it again. I'm not as concerned about them writing the sentences, even though it helps them a whole lot. Their penmanship is improving. However, they tend to rush through worksheets, and we have to have them redo it again so they can practice. In first grade, they'll be doing a lot of writing, and we want them to be prepared. That way they don't struggle with the writing aspect of it. But I'm mostly concerned with the reading part. The writing is secondary. And of course, have them read this themselves. They're more than capable, so they can say, I dish. Have them read it, because if you read it to them, you're taking away their control, their power. I wish, I mish. I wonder what the story said. Well, they see it here and they read it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So they should know I wish. Which one of these is it? So don't read it for them, but ask them. So which one of these is it? What's the answer? I dish, after they read it to you. I wish or I mish. Which one? Let them choose it. Same thing for this question. I'm hoping there are no typos in these. I just purchased these yesterday, but I've looked them over and it looks like they're okay. But if you find a typo, please, honestly, it's no big deal as long as they can read the words. Okay, so I'm hoping there are no typos. If there are, please let me know. That way I can correct my master copy. And so when I make copies of it for the other groups, I can be sure to correct it before they get it. So thank you so much for everything that you do to support us, to support me, to support your child. Thank you so much. I know it's difficult. You have jobs, you have lives, you have significant others, you have other children, and your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.